Today we will be studying the financial leverage, or you can say the leverages. So what actually leverages? Just in order to understand this, we will go to the scanned book which has been sent to us by Purva. So here it is. Yeah. So leverage is what actually it is. It is just taking the benefit of some certain fixed cost. I have already explained you while we were in the physical contact board in the class that there are certain instances where you can say you can take a benefit of having the fixed cost included in your total cost. So the taking benefit of fixed cost is nothing but you are actually taking the leverages of having the fixed cost. So in this particular financial decisions, there are two types of leverages. One is called operating leverage, other is called financial leverage. This is a very small chapter and we will be able to understand by the end of this chapter that what are the benefits of having a fixed cost, that is the operating leverage or operating fixed cost, and financial fixed cost, that is the interest and the preference dividend and all. And then afterwards we will see the combined effect of it, and then we will do the illustrations. So if you see it from this point of view, that there are what is the concept of leverage. The concept of leverage, if you see here, it is explained on your page number 162. The concept of leverages. The term leverage in this refers to relationship between the two interrelated variables, where we are here the reference to this business. These variables may be the cost, output, sales or revenue, EBIT, earning per share. These are the things which are interrelated. So when the things are interrelated, change in one thing will affect the change in the others. So that is actually how we have to just study that to what extent we are changing one variable and how much it is changing the other one. Just read this. The leverage may be defined as percentage change in one variable divided by percentage change in some other variable or variables. Or impliedly, the numerator is a dependent variable, say x, and the denominator is a independent variable, say y. So leverage, what the leverage will be? Leverage is given by in this formula, which means leverage is equal to percentage change in dependent variable upon percentage change in independent variable. Now here just a small example has been taken. Like if a firm increases its sales promotion expenses from 5,000 to 6,000, that is 20%. This will result in increase in some sales also. So what is dependent? Dependent is sales is dependent on sales promotion. So if the sales is increasing, for example, here in this question, the sales of the unit of sales has increased from 200 to 300. That is, it shows an increase of 50% of sales with a result of 20% of change in the sales promotion expenses. So percentage change in unit sold is 0.50 and percentage change in sales promotion is 0.2. So for every unit you are taking 2.5 times the benefit. So if number of units sold is, now it means that percentage change in number of units sold is 25 times that of the percentage change in the sales promotion, or you can say it is 2.5 times. So 2.5 times is the leverage that even if you increase one unit, there will be impact of 2.5 unit increase in the other dependent variable. So if you increase the independent variable, there will be certain changes in the dependent variable, and that's what is called leverage. So this happens when we have, and this is one of the things when we go for large scale production. These are the things which are kept in mind. So here if we will prepare the entire chart, that from sales, just see on page number 163, top left, sales revenue minus variable cost. So this is a chart which we prepare: sales minus variable cost, we get contribution, then minus fixed cost, we get EBIT. From EBIT we reduce interest and then we get profit before taxes, and from profit before taxes we deduct taxes and then we get profit after taxes. So now this has been divided into two parts. So this would have been given in one straight format also, but this has been divided into two parts. Why? Because here there is the fixed cost, which is EBIT is a resultant which you are getting out of the operation, or you can say the operating leverages, and here you are getting PAT as a result of interest as a fixed cost, which is called financial leverages. So left hand side of the above presentation shows that the level of EBIT depends upon the level of sales revenue, and the right hand side above presentation shows that earning before after tax or EPS depends on the level of EBIT. Now what is in between this EBIT and PAT? Means in between sales revenue and EBIT. Now if you see sales revenue, the variable cost will increase in the same proportion as that of the sales revenue. Because suppose, for example, you are talking of packing. So packing will be more sales will be there. So you have to pack more items. So in the same way, if you do this, what will happen? That there will be more packing charges for the more sales. At the same time, what can lever is just the fixed cost. Okay, so leverage can happen only because of the fixed cost, not because of anything else. Yes, anybody wants to ask or say anything? Somebody's mic is on, so it is creating disturbance over here. So let's proceed further. Yeah, so so there are two things which we have seen, and the combined effect can be seen as a combined leverages. So given the level of operating profit, that is the EBIT, the financial manager should strive to maximize the EPS. So here, if you are maximizing the EPS, or you can say profit after tax, there has to be some leverage which you have to take out of the interest. Let us study in detail about the operating leverage. We have already studied a percentage change in dependent upon percentage, a percentage change in independent upon percentage change in dependent. So here, if you see the operating leverage, the formula is given over here, and accordingly you have to calculate that how much is the leverage, or you can say that how much change will be there in the dependent if independent variable is changed. So operating leverage is given by percentage change over here. So in the same way, further you can see there is one more example taken over here. The operating leverage. One more thing is there. If you see the operating leverage of 1, which denotes that there will be equal change. Okay, so there will be not that much, but there will be equal change if you take the 1 as a operating leverage, or 1 has come as an operating leverage. Now just consider this particular example. What is present and what is accepted, and how you can take the benefit of the leverage. That if you are having 10,000 rupees sales and your expected is 14,000, and variable cost will go hand in hand with that of the sales, the contribution will come to rupees 3,000, 4,200, which will also go hand in hand. So here, if the fixed costs are 1,000, because fixed cost will remain fixed. So here you are taking benefit of fixed cost in order to generate more EBIT. So percentage, the operating leverage will be percentage change in EBIT upon percentage change in sales revenue. Just imagine if you remove this fixed cost, that is 1,000 both the ways, the EBIT will always remain 1, because it will change in the same proportion as that of the sales. Why EBIT is having a variable thing over here? Just because of existence of this fixed cost. Otherwise, everything will change in proportion with the sales as the variable cost will increase. So here you are getting a operating leverage of 1.5. So degree of operating leverage may at any point particular volume sales volume may also be calculated by ratio of contribution to the EBIT. So operating leverage will be contribution divided by EBIT. So this is a very simple formula, particularly for operating leverage. Same is the case of your financial leverage also. So if you see financial leverage is given to you on page number 364. Take out page number 364. Financial leverage is given to you over here. And if you see the last line from where the financial leverage is starting. So financial leverage measures the relationship between EBIT and EPS. And it reflects the effect reflects the effect of change in EBIT on the level of EPS. In the previous operating leverage, we have seen the change in sales or change in contribution to change in EBIT. Now here EBIT has now changed its position from dependent to independent one. Now here EPS will be depending on EBIT. So any increase in EPS will definitely any increase in EBIT will result in increase in earning per share, or you can say profit after tax too. So here also again the same things are used. Now if you see here the you can see there is an example taken over here where you have to calculate. Yes, on this portion also you can, there is a good elaboration. So EPS, the calculation of EPS is EBIT minus interest into 1 minus T. It is same as that of the horizontally we have taken on the previous page, that is on page number 363 where the blocks are given above. So EPS, EBIT minus interest into 1 minus T will divide by number of shares will be the EPS. Now see, there is only one thing which is having a fixed cost. Now just see this example on the opposite side. So EBIT is given at 2000 and 3200. Interest is same because interest will remain same if you produce 1000 units or 1400 units. Now profit before tax is 1800 and 300, and again 50% tax rate, and profit after tax is 900 and 1500 number of shares, and then you will get the EPS. So here again, when while you will be calculating the EPS, the effect will only be because of this fixed factor, that is interest. Okay. So here the explanation is also given that how much increase is there in EBIT and how much. Please go through this. You will be able to understand that what is actually happening over here. It is nothing but the effect of interest, because except interest everything else is variable. So we are taking only benefit of the interest, and that we will call as a financial leverage. Why? Because it is a financial cost. Interest is a financial cost, whereas fixed cost is an operating cost. So when we are taking benefit of operating cost, it is called operating leverage. When we are taking benefit of fixed cost, it is called fixed financial cost or interest, it is called financial leverage. So here further, if you see likewise, like the other formula we have done in the previous of this operating leverage, the financial leverage is EBIT upon EBIT minus financial charge, that is interest, or you can say EBIT upon PBT, profit before tax. And even the same effect will be on the profit after tax also, because the proportion of taxation will remain same. Now here one more thing is there. The preference dividend also plays one important role if the preference dividend is in the existence. So here for financial leverage, if preference dividend is there, so you have to deduct preference dividend also, and then afterwards you have to go for the other process. So financial, because this preference dividend is also a fixed cost, that's why it also needs to be deducted. Now after this, let us just see one question, or you can say one example where we will be able to understand this. So one more thing, last is your combined leverage. Combined leverage is nothing but the impact of this sales or directly on the EPS, or you can say it is a combination of operating leverage into financial. Combined leverage is equal to operating leverage multiplied by the financial leverage, and finally you will get the combined leverage. So this is the formula for it. So here comes your illustrations. Now here, now see, calculate the degree of operating leverage and degree of financial leverage and the degree of combined leverage for the following terms and interpret the results. Output is given to you, fixed cost is there, variable cost per unit is also given, interest on borrowed funds is given to you for firm A and firm B, and selling price per unit is also given. So here, by doing this, output is given, multiplied by selling price and variable cost. The contribution you will get per unit contribution here itself you can calculate. So 60 paisa is your selling price, 20 paisa is your variable cost, and the contribution you will get from these is 40 paisa. In the same way, from selling price, if you deduct the variable cost from 5 rupees, 1.5 rupees, 3 and 3.5, and this is 10 minus 2, it is 8. Not the total contribution, you can multiply it by the number of units. So you will get the total contribution. Fixed costs are given as rupees 7,000. Here in firm B it is 14,000 and firm C it is 1,500. So EBIT has come up, interest is there, and profit before tax has also come up. Now here, degree of operating leverage is to be calculated. Simple formula, as I have already told you, contribution upon EBIT, it is given. So for all the three firms, you are getting the degree of operating leverage. In the same way, degree of financial leverage also EBIT upon PBIT. So EBIT 70,000 divided by 13,000, 38,000 divided by 30,500, and 6,500 divided by 6,500. So here the financial leverage is coming as 1 because it is not having any debt. So financial leverage over here will be, here in this particular case of firm C, will be 1. Why? Because we do not have any debt. Because debts are not there, so interest is also not there. Now here, what does it mean? So further, let's further calculate the combined leverage also. If you multiply these two, you will get the combined leverage, or otherwise contribution divided by PBIT, you will get the combined leverage. Now just see the interpretation. Now high operating leverage combined with high financial leverage, this shows a risky position because you are taking both the things, but at the same time, the expectation of the return will also be high from the shareholders and from the stakeholders. So if 1.14 is multiplied by, so actually you are having a combined effect of both the leverages. For example, you are having a very high fixed cost. Very high fixed cost. What is the risk? Risk is that if you do not have that much of sales, you will not be able to cover your high fixed cost. At the same time, if you are having high financial cost and your PBIT is not enough to cover your interest, or you can say the interest coverage ratio is very, very low, at that time you will not be able to cover your interest. Means your fixed cost is not able to cover your contribution, and your interest is not, or EBIT, earning before interest and tax, is not able to cover your interest. Then there will be a risk of bankruptcy. So in that case, the risk will be very, very high. So the interpretation is that high combined leverage and financial leverage represent the risky position. Low operating leverage combined with low financial leverage will constitute an ideal situation, and therefore firm C is less risky. Why? Because the interest is 0 and the financial leverage is also 1. Now, if you see this position, the most riskiest firm is firm A. Second firm is at a moderate, and the less risky firm is the firm C. So here this leverage also tells you to the extent to which there is a risk taking capacity or the risk of the firm. In the same way, you can see illustration number 11.2 also, where the existing profits are taken, and how to calculate the operating leverage and financial leverage. Now, if you see this, there is a very high combined leverage. Here the combined leverage coming to be 6. So in the same way, you can interpret the things and other questions can also be done. So this is how you have to do, nothing more than, and this is there in it. So rest questions are also similar, and now see here also, if you see, this is question number 11.7. Here also output is given, selling price is given, revenue, variable, company and company B contribution is given. Again, the same things you have to calculate, and you have to come up with a combined leverage, what actually the combined leverage is, and then further you may comment on it. So the things are similar in, yeah, one more thing is there here, up to here it has been taken that 2 different companies are taken up to this illustration number 11.7. Now further, if you proceed further, there are situations that what should be the capital structure if plan 1, plan 2 and plan 3 are there. So now see here, the equity is also decreasing, at the same time the debt is, now here the total amount in, if you see this illustration number, this is illustration 11.8 I suppose, or 11.9, no, it's 11.9, it's 11.9. If you see, there are 3 situations given over here. The 3 situations are helped with the help of are to be justified. Now see, the total capital requirement for each plan or each thing is 10,000 only, because total capital requirement, or you can say we need a total capital of 10,000. Now this total capital can be 50% from equity and 50% from debt, and you can have 75% from equity and 25% of debt. And in third plan, you can have only 25% of equity and very high debt. Now this plan 3 is very risky, but at the same time is beneficial if you are having equal support of sales. Now in this situation, how these plans will work is given, and what plan should you choose as per your risk-taking capacity is to be decided. So these are the things which are to be taken. So again, in company A and company B, the things are given. Again, you have to calculate the degree of operating leverage, degree of financial leverage, and combined leverages. So this is how it is, and if some missing figures are to be calculated, that can also be done using this. So what is the purpose is that you must understand what is degree of operating leverage, degree of financial leverage, and other leverages. Right? So this is how it is to be done and taken care of. I think you are able to understand. If you have to ask anything, or if you have any problem or any confusion, you can ask me now. Now this I open the forum for the further discussion. Yeah. Yeah, Parvati, you want to ask something? Sakshi?
So,
Yeah, anything you want to ask?
suppose
आवाज नहीं आ
सारे
रही।
लिंक सेंड कर सर, रिकॉर्डिंग्स के सारे लिंक सेंड कर दीजिएगा व्हाट्सएप पे।
मैंने तुम्हें कल भेजे थे बाकी, और अभी मैं जैसे ही उसको उस पे डालूंगा, while I'll be taking it on the YouTube, I will send you links of all the other classes also to all. The last 2 classes, can you please forward it to all other on the group?
ओके सर, उसमें कैपिटल बजटिंग का नहीं है।
I will give you all the capital budgeting. Capital budgeting, 1 class we have not recorded. Rest all are at those the classes which are recorded, that covers all the things which we have studied. Don't worry about it.
Oh.
Yeah. Pratik, anything you want to ask?
No, sir.
Anish? Riya Agarwal?
Sir. No, sir.
Okay. Riya Agarwal?
No, sir.
Devraj. Yeah, Parvati, anything you
No,
want to
sir.
ask? Parvati is there or not there at all? Only dummy is there. Himanshu.
Sir.
Himanshu is also. Yeah, okay, fine. You are there. So, anything? Any problem, Himanshu?
Mohit sir, Mohit sir.
No, sir. No problem.
Okay. Yes, Mohit, you have anything to ask?
No, sir, no, sir.
Kritika? Priyam? Anything, Priyam?
सर एक बार समराइज कर दीजिए क्या क्या पढ़ना है.
Beta, there are three things in this chapter. One is your degree of operating leverage. Second is your degree of financial leverage. And third is degree of combined leverage, right? So degree of operating leverage occurs.
Okay, sir.
What is leverage? Leverage is actually taking benefit of fixed cost. So while we are taking benefit of fixed operating cost is operating leverage. When we are taking benefit of fixed financial cost is called financial leverage, and combination of these two will get the combined leverage. Means actually leverage at the same time, when we are taking benefit at the same time, leverage also tells us that how much we are risky, because if we are taking benefit, there has to be at the cost of certain risk which you are taking. So there is no risk, no gain, or you can say high risk, there will be high gain, provided you are able to achieve that particular level at which you are able to cover the fixed cost, whether it is fixed operating cost or whether it is fixed financial cost. So how the firms are doing, how the firms will be able to get benefit. So this is being explained in this entire class today. Okay, so I think that is more than sufficient. So if anyone is having anything else, you can anytime call me on phone. Okay, so I'm just putting the recording off now for this class. Okay. Yes, Sakshi, you want to say something?
Sir, do we have to practice practical questions?
Why not? Definitely it's a practical subject, so you have to go for practical, and even for the chapters which I have already taught you, you have to do any 5 questions of your choice, and that will be the assignment. And I think that we will submit by 10th of this month. So all you have to, and you might be doing, you all are doing the assignments which I have already been announcing from time to time. Now it's time to for submission. Those who have not done, I'm giving them 3 days. On 10th, I will ask you for submission of assignment of capital budgeting, all the chapters separately, 5 questions from each chapter, not more than that. So 5 questions from each chapter you have to submit by 10th, and then you have to do it in your copy, and you have to scan it, and you have to mail it, or you have to WhatsApp me. I will tell you what to do. And accordingly, we will accept those assignments, and then we will grade those assignments, right? Meanwhile, I think your university is also looking forward for some options in order to replace your exams or so. So whatsoever will happen will be informed to you soon. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So I'm stopping the recording now.